That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored! They did it!
Left, beat left.
What the hell was that?
Oh, yeah! What the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, hey, everybody. Welcome in. Kicking it stateside, live, Saturday. A2D Radio here. Adam Modick, Brian Wheeler. What's going on, my friend? How you feeling?
What's up, brother? Best in the business. Let's do this. We got so much to talk about.
It's.
I mean, how am I feeling? Look at my name right now. That's my name today.
Oh, angry Arsenal fan. Oh, yeah. Those motherfuckers. They couldn't bring it up. I feel like Aston Villa is now Arsenal's kryptonite.
There's just so much to be angry about right now.
And again, it's amazing how this league can turn. 1 week, Arsenal fans are feeling really good. The other week, they're not. Now Chelsea fans are like, all right, we have some stability now. When before last week, I was ready to jump out the window. This league,
Jorginho brings you back to life.
Yeah,
who would have thought?
The hop, skip, and a jump.
Exactly.
So like Brian said, we got a lot to talk about today, per usual. Today's show brought to you by our boy, Dr. Paul Vidal, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. He's our doctor. We need to make him yours too. We got the 2 locations. We got a location in Burlington and in Cherry Hill. This guy is the best. Again, he's doing all online consultations if you're not comfortable with going into the office, and he'll make it as comfortable for you as he did for some of us. So
yeah, we know you need him after all the recent shoveling, and it looks like we might have some more coming this way again. So
dude,
I
was back home because I had to take my car in for an inspection. 27.5 inches we got in the Lehigh Valley. 27.5.
That's right. It's been a long time since we've had weather.
I was literally snowed in for 3 days. I could not leave.
Yeah, we got about 8.5, 9 where I was at, so I missed a little bit of work, but it's all right.
If I didn't see snow for the rest of this winter, I'd be pretty damn happy, because when you get the second highest snowfall in Lehigh Valley history, it's what's going on here? Like, why is Mother Winter trying to fuck with us?
Because it's 2021, that's why.
Just carrying over the bullshit?
We're just rolling right along.
God damn it. But we digress. So the big topic today, obviously, we got the big granddaddy of them all. We got Liverpool, Man City tomorrow. We're gonna bring on friend, recurring guest of the program. Lord Walker will come on to discuss how his Reds are. I'm sure he has a lot to say, and it's not going to be very good. Apparently, he said he has some hot takes for us that might not sit well with us, that we might have some pushback.
More likely you.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, me as well, possibly, but definitely you.
I feel like he's going to take some shots at my boy Tommy T.
Possibly.
So I'm prepared. I got my painter's hat on. I'm ready to go to work.
I got mine hanging. I wanted to show off the fresh cut today.
Oh, of course. Get them lined up.
Barber Mike, thanks. No free plugs though. Sorry.
It's tough. It's tough these days. Yeah. Poll question: do you think Liverpool will beat Man City tomorrow? Agree or disagree?
Oh man. My honest opinion right now, before obviously we get our boy on here later today and all that, and we dive really into this, no. I mean, there's nothing of recent of the last couple matches that shows me any reason that they should be favored in this matchup and will win this matchup.
Right.
We'll see. We'll see what Klopp's got, because there was some talk this morning. Is he going to find a way to get at least one of these new defenders in there and not have to stick like Jordan Henderson in a center back position? So we'll see what moves he makes here and see who's ready after a short little bit of training on these new additions between Kabak and Ben Davies.
Yeah, I'm going off on a hunch that he may even throw. Do you think he'll throw that Kabak guy in there? First game.
One of them one of them has to. One of them's going to have to get into play here, I think, one way or another. I think because Davies essentially is going to have to play a center back position when he does get time. So,
yeah, not to say you're wasting Jordan Henderson's talent as a center back, but you kind of are.
Yeah, you need him controlling that mid. Yeah.
So, but unfortunately with their injuries, they're throwing out whoever is a body available. So it'll be interesting to see what Klopp has and see what the boys, if he can rally these guys. And, this is a big game. You lose this game, Liverpool's you're staring up at a lot of teams and with a lot of points in front of you. So,
and I haven't had an opportunity to vent it, but since we're talking about it now, I wanted to just thank Liverpool again. I was able to do so on social media, but by signing Kabak, it was able to force Schalke to be in need of a center back and was able to take Zlatan Mustafi off our hands.
Yeah, how about that?
Just another one of my, as bad as things are right now, angry Arsenal fan right here, that was at least one thing I could be happy about. The two lazy, underperforming, peaked long ago Germans are no longer in Arsenal red, and I am personally thrilled about it. So
I think Schalke would welcome any people to help them stay up at this point. And if Arsenal wants to just keep giving them players,
they're giving them.
Go for it.
We could really use Klosniak right now too, because Cedric just does. I love Cedric too. I've been a big Cedric supporter, but he just does not look good at left back. He doesn't have a left foot. And that offense that you play, you need that. They look completely transformed when Saka moved back to left back and can come up there. Like I think they should have just bit the bullet and asked Saka to do that with Tierney being out again, just like last year. You have enough offense. You could move Saka back there where he would have been more helpful, because that one turnover cost you the game.
Right.
We say that one momentary lapse in 90 minutes. Sometimes that's all it takes. And fortunately for my fantasy team, Ollie Watkins scores again. I've climbed back up to third place in the table, so I'm coming back for my number one spot.
Here he comes.
And again, good morning, guys. Chucks, thank you. Ritter, thanks. Lord Walker is here.
There's a big
Again,
guy.
he will be joining us later to discuss the upcoming game tomorrow.
And I'm interested to see what he has to say.
Oh, I'm sure
He's going to be spitting some crazy shit. I know that.
Well, when you lose to Brighton, when you really, really needed a win,
Brighton, Burnley at home.
Yeah, you and I kind of know what he has to say somewhat, because we have that group text going, but I'm sure there's a lot of people that, check us out that are definitely interested in what he's going to have to say. So
most times, I know what Joey said a couple weeks ago. He was watching because he wanted to see what Lord Walker had to say and what you were going off. All these. There's a lot of rants on this show because all the teams now seem to be
because all three of our teams are underperforming,
sliding down the table every week, and again, now I feel pretty content.
Yeah. Now you're actually sitting the most content. You got your new coach. You're trying to figure out, I'm interested in to see what he's been doing week after week. Chelsea's as big of a show to me right now as Arsenal is.
He's resurrecting Marky Alonso's career.
Yeah.
The guy doesn't even make 18 the whole season, and then he starts 2 games in a row.
There has to be something said for when you're coming into a situation like that, is going with guys that are veterans.
Yeah.
That sometimes that's your best bet off the jump. And then as you're training, figure out who else you got. And we've talked about, obviously, he's got some relationship with the two German guys, being that he's German as well. He's got a relationship with Pulisic from Dortmund. So it's gonna take time. You got to be patient, just like everybody has to understand. Every time there's a coaching change, nobody's ever patient, especially in this league. It's the most impatient.
Oh, we know.
And
I saw sidebar on the fantasy league, the Kickin' Stateside fantasy EPL. I saw in the chat Caprero jawing away saying, "My team's just unstoppable right now." And then I see it, and now he's fourth. Don't talk too soon,
because I beat him this week.
Don't talk too soon, Michael.
I actually sent him a little message this week because he was. Oh yeah, because he was sending me something about Sonny when Sonny was hot for him. His whole team died by Sonny. He was getting 20 points a week with one guy. If Sonny goes cold like he has been with HK out, that's. I looked at his roster. He doesn't have depth like me. I have the most. I have the most points scored by over 100 points in the league, and I have like 6 draws because of some weird scoring changes that seem to occur based off of man of the match late point bumps or something that
it's
I've seen where I've won, and then it's a weird format. We've talked about it, but whatever. It's been fun, and anybody who is a fan of the show that wants to get in next year. I'm sure we might have a few openings. Our real goal is to have 2 leagues and have a pro rel fantasy league. So feel free to hit us up on all the socials if you are interested, because this season is not far from winding down.
We're rolling into the second half pretty quick, and again, we have a pretty busy schedule again next week, and then we're getting into Champions League the week after that. So
yeah, when you're having 2 weeks within 1 week, it speeds it along a little bit.
I mean, they're trying to get back to the original schedule that COVID kind of threw off, and again, like a lot of sports, especially here in the U.S., that you have a condensed schedule to keep that the schedule flowing and go back to how it used to be.
Speaking of schedules. I expect that we'll be getting full-blown schedules now that the MLS has reached their agreement.
Yeah.
2 hours before the deadline, it appeared last night. So we got a 6-year deal. Apparently, it's not very favorable to the players, but it was what they had to do to get it done, to keep playing. So that's a very positive thing.
Greedy bastards.
Yeah, I mean, the owners generally always win one way or another in every sport. But
when you don't have freaking fans in the seats, you don't have money.
Yeah.
So this year hurt the pockets of obviously a lot of sports. And the greed is there. The owners always, like you said, the owners are always going to get their way. And every team is owned by the MLS, which is the fucked up part.
But hey, at least it's good to see that they're going to be playing.
And hopefully in due time, again, that we're going to allow people in the seats and that we can do this, take, Tommy and everybody to a union match.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I guarantee he'll be won over.
Absolutely.
It's
got to be Union Red Bull, bro. We got to do it.
I know.
I asked for certain things, and the Red Bull have been kind of slowly doing so. So, I'm going to jump back on and continue to show them the love that I was. It was just frustrating when you see what their plan was, but all of a sudden it seems like they've listened to the fans a little bit, and they realize that the fans respect and understand that they have a certain thing they're trying to do with Salzburg and Leipzig, but at the same time, they want to see a competitive team. And if you want the support and you want the financial, especially without the fans in the seats, and now you need to sell more jerseys, you need to sell more scarves, you need to sell more things like that, you got to show us that you actually care about putting a competitive product onto the field.
Yeah, because that's going to put butts in seats.
Yeah.
Even though this year is going to be different because everybody, is going to be chomping at the bit to get back in the stands no matter what team you put out there, most likely. But it doesn't hurt to have at least a couple big names, not, throwing out, Darlow and some of these other guys that don't exactly sell the tickets. You know what I'm saying?
You hating on Tom Barlow?
Darlow. I'm thinking of Craig Darlow, the goalie.
You could call him Darlow. It doesn't matter.
He hasn't earned the name Barlow.
Yeah, I've been very vocal. I've never been a big fan. It's hard to fill the shoes of a legend like Bradley, to be honest.
I mean, there's been legends at Red Bull since I can remember, even starting with Henri, and then it was like Jolin Pierre. BWP then it's tough.
Yeah. Nothing that resembles a legend at this moment right now.
Not even close.
And it looked like the kid with the most talent is probably going to get plucked by Europe soon in Clark anyway, so it
seems that way.
Yeah. I like this defender they brought in from Miami though, so that I'm excited, and we'll talk more. I have some other news that dropped this morning about the expansion of CONCACAF Champions League, but we'll talk about that a little bit later.
I don't know if anybody saw that. I've been trying to hang up my scarves in the back, and they all just fell down during the show.
As we're talking about the Union, they just. So could that be a sign of things to come this season?
So if someone wants to pluck that, Frank or Brodo, whoever does cuts our clips, just have one by one. There's three panels that just fell all during the show.
Around the 16th minute. Let's note that.
I tried, man. I'm trying to make this, more of a soccer. Since we're not in studio, I need a little setup like you. But apparently, my cork strips that I bought on Amazon just aren't holding it up.
I would say call Bezos, but he's out, so you can't.
I was gonna say he sabotaged my shit.
Yeah, he sabotaged. Sabotage talk.
Oh, God. But the other poll question I had was, with Jesse Lingard going to West Ham and scoring 2 goals on his debut, no big deal. Do you think that he can resurrect his career? As a Man United fan out there, anybody, do you want to see him resurrect his career? Is that good for United, or is that if he does so well, will West Ham be like, nah, he's ours now?
There's a small part of me that wants him to continue to succeed at West Ham, just to rub it in the face of United, to be like, you had this guy sitting there all this time, and it just makes Ole look even worse. But then at the end of the day, that making Ole look worse means that it's just going to eventually bring the change on and get Ole out of there, and they'll probably spend the money for somebody pretty good. And it's Jesse Lingard, and I hate Jesse Lingard. Yeah, as an Arsenal fan, with the goals he scored, his most career goals come against Arsenal. He has a total of 4. Like, Jesse Lingard's not a goal scorer, and he comes in for West Ham and just pockets 2 like it's nothing. Like, it's crazy to see how a change of scenery can really make a big difference. Joe Willock, again, we talked about too this morning. He scores 1.
Sometimes that's all you need. You just need a little change of scenery.
Yeah.
Get the confidence going. Obviously, when you're sitting on the bench rotting away, it doesn't help you at all.
Quick score alert, too, talking about scoring. Almiron scores another one. So Newcastle is now up 3-1 on Southampton. So Southampton's struggles continue.
So Hampton is they've lost their last 4 Premier League games in a row. After their defense in the beginning of the season was really, really good. And now all of a sudden they're leaking in 3+ goals a game. They got destroyed 9-0 against United last week. Like, what the hell is the deal?
Here's the only positive thing I could say for Southampton right now is you've done so well to start the season that you could probably lose out the rest of the season and not get relegated because the bottom three is so bad right now.
Hey, the Blades are hot.
Yeah, the Blades are hot. Sorry.
The Blades are hot.
Right.
They're going to have a tough time getting out of that, that bottom three. But, I mean, hey.
We'll see how hot they stay.
It's a bad time for Chelsea to play Sheffield.
It could be. It could be.
I'm smelling a nice 0-0 draw or something.
And at halftime, Brighton is once again Brighton in a 1-0 game. They are leading Burnley on a Lewis Dunk goal.
Louis Dunk coming up big. Actually, Brighton
again.
Brighton, I think, has 4 shutouts in a row.
Brighton's on the climb.
I mean, one of my favorite managers, Graham Potter.
Yep. It's Adam's boy.
That's my man's. Besides Ralphie Hasenhüttl, Graham Potter.
I actually have to say, Matt Ryan, the Aussie, did not do a bad job for Arsenal today. That goal was not his fault. It was a bad turnover and a deflection, and he had a couple big saves, kept him in the game, gave him opportunities. So, thanks Brighton for him at least, because that was the one of the very, very few positives I pulled out of today's game. Was at least we have some kind of backup goalie because Runerson's a little shaky still.
Hence why he's not there.
Yeah. I don't think Leno changes that game any different. So
nah. Again, I think Matty Ryan played well enough to win again, but you got to score the ball.
And the crazy thing is now with these double week fixtures, like. I feel like the whole Wolves game has, not that it's worn off because it's frustrating, but like there's been so much conclusion to it already. Like it happened, it sucked. They went to UEFA or the FA or whatever, and somehow still nothing was overturned. I just don't get it. But like it's basically been said. Nothing's gonna happen. It's over. It's done with. Deal with it. So I didn't even get a chance to really rant about it, but it's just Arsenal got let down big time by VAR, by the FA.
They got shafted.
It's not a red card.
It's not. I'll admit.
It's not a red card.
I'll admit it.
I don't even know if it's a anything, but first of all, you never do the double. You don't red card and award a PK. Especially in something like that. It's not like he reached out. Typical David Luiz actually reaches out, grabs the shoulder, pulls you down. Mm-hmm. He didn't do that. He didn't do that. He actually literally pulled up in his run. He was going to give him a chance to shoot the ball. And good acting by Willian Jose.
The Willian Jose experiment.
What drives me crazy is you have the opportunity. I've watched them run back and zoom in slow motion 47 times on a fingernail offsides potential call and look at it from every possible angle. That VAR took 47 seconds with no detailed look-ins, no nothing. They just went back and were like, yep, yeah, it's a red card, yep.
Yep.
PK red card, yep. Move on. Like it's disgraceful. They really need to fix all of that. But
I know.
It's part of the game.
I don't have my VAR shirt at hand, but
I wish you did.
I know. I mean, we all know how, I think a lot of people are very frustrated with how VAR has gone. Every team has been affected by it, some more than others. But yeah, there's just so much gray area. They don't have like a definite, like, what's this, what's that. It's like your arm can be offsides, but the defender can't keep you on with his arm.
Right. Yeah.
Something's not adding up here. I don't know.
Doesn't work for me.
And it's
There's got to be a lot worked out in the next offseason. That's all I'm going to say.
And I mean, maybe Lord Walker said, hey, you know what? Don't put the ref in a bad position to make that call. You're putting him in a tough spot. Which is half true, I think.
That was targeting. You got targeted. David Luiz was targeted because it was David Luiz. That's why. Because I don't care if that's one of your guys, you're not defending that call ever. If that's your team, nobody is ever going to sit there and defend that call when it happens to their team.
Eddie said Lingardinho is back. Yes, he is.
Great debut.
He's
a great debut, man.
He's the English Messi.
You can't ask for a better debut.
A hat trick, that'd be probably the icing on the cake.
You head out to
look like a genius.
Yeah, you're heading to the number 1 team in London right now. Still,
they're a good team.
They are, man. There's no denying.
They made good moves. They got Soucek. They locked him in. I keep saying Jared Bowen. Love the way that kid plays. Speaking
of making good moves, did you see their former striker, Sebastian Haller? Everdize. Somebody in Everdize's front office made a clerical error and left him off in their submission of a lineup for, I think it was Europa or something like that. Yeah. So he is not available at all for some tournament that they're playing.
I saw that.
Somebody's fired. Yeah.
Of course. It was a bad week for Ajax because their starting goalie just got suspended for a year for doping.
Oh, man.
That Andre Onana, or however you say it. And he was supposed to be a pretty highly touted guy. People were looking at him I think Chelsea even thought about bringing him in for their goalkeeper issues before they brought Mendy in. So that sucks. 12-month ban.
Well, good thing they didn't.
Yeah. Then you're stuck with that loser Kepa. Sorry, Eddie.
Yeah.
Eddie's probably watching his Rangers.
He's most likely. Are they on right now?
I saw he's like 3 wins to the title. I'm like, come on. Come on. Really?
I mean, that's where it's at this point. They're dominant right now.
Not saying the MLS can beat a Rangers side because I don't think that's true. But I'm pretty sure the Union have played Celtic before in a friendly, and it was pretty competitive.
And held their own?
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that most MLS teams can handle Hearts of Metathlonian and Motherwell and all those teams. Just saying, I respect the Scottish League, and I think they're fantastic. And if I ever went to Scotland, I would want to go see a game either at Celtic Park or the Ibrox. So
I feel like you got to go to both if you have the opportunity.
I'd probably go to Celtic just to hear that chant that the Union do that they got from Celtic. When I see Celtic, I could go out of my head. I just can't get enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look up the videos on YouTube and watch like a packed Celtic Park chant that. Oh, sends chills up your fucking spine.
Yeah, it'd be nice to be able to do that.
Well, one day we'll be able to travel internationally, right? Right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Right.
Right.
Right. Hopefully.
But yeah, again, a lot to kind of unpack today. It's one of those weeks, man. The schedule just is so jam-packed. It's like hard to talk about games that just happened because games just rolled right into this weekend. So it's hard to really harp on, the reviewing and the recapping of previous weeks.
There's stuff being played everywhere right now. So that's why I tell people when I post on social media, I implore people to come in and join us just to talk about anything. Like, obviously we have a set thing on this show, and we have a few things that we always want to discuss each week. But like mostly it's at this point, it's somewhat of an open forum. because there's so much in the world of soccer that we could talk about. You want to come in and you like the Bundesliga more, or you like La Liga more, or you got something you want to say, feel free to bring it up. It may not work for what we're talking about at the time, but we'll try to talk about it and discuss it because that's what we're here for, man. Just the whole game as a total. Speaking of Bundesliga, I don't know if you've been watching. I'm sure you have it up, but it's not a really good morning for you right now. You got to feel worse than I do. Like, I had a bad morning. Like, right now, your morning's worse than mine right now.
I hate this team. I do. I'd really hate it. In a freaking season where Bayern's not like Bayern, where
they're just not running away with it. Yeah.
And they're still like 12 points ahead, Bayern, because everybody's beating each other up.
They got a lackluster 1-0 win yesterday in a blizzard. That was pretty awesome. On. Yeah, man. So they take it 3 points and just. You know what it is, already. Unfortunately. Yeah, I was going to say, unfortunately, you know what it is.
Give him the trophy. All right, 30-minute mark. You got to talk about our new sponsors, of course, Body Check Wellness.
Yes, man.
Body Check Wellness is all our Flyers, faithful people out there. Is something that Riley Cote, former Flyer, got into. He was on the Hockey Happy Hour the other night. Really good stuff from those guys. So shout out to Hove and Brian. So yeah, it's basically a wellness, balance, recovery. They got hemp, the good stuff. Everybody's trying to do this just a little bit different on the recovery side of things these days. And hemp seems to be kind of the main focus on some of these like recovery, because they're discovering that it actually does benefit you.
Been saying it for years. So
you could have the extracts, blend the gummies, fantastic.
Yeah, all the topicals, the lotions, and the creams, and all that. So use promo code A2D, you get 20% off your order. Bodycheckwellness.com. You know where to find them, and it's a great company, man, and they're definitely they're doing good things in that world of we talk about inside, outside, everything, and trying to keep yourself well at this point in the world, and everything helps. So definitely worth a check out.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go get definitely gonna try it out.
Yeah, well, now so now you can go see the good doc, and in between sessions with the doc, you get your stuff from Body Check. Keep yourself going, and we'll talk a little bit later too Yep. Later on, we'll talk about on the mental side of it too. So keeping yourself well. That's what we're all about here. Having a good time and loving this game, man.
We love it. We love it. We love it. We love it. Recovery. Especially as we get older.
Schalke just went down 2-0.
Good.
Yeah, good. Sabitzer.
Marcel saved
it. Of course, because Mustafi was starting. Thank you. Yes.
They're not a good team. I don't care if you get Mustafi and Klaas.
And you know what the best part about it was? Like, it's a 6-month contract, and then he's done there too. He's just done. He's never coming back.
I'm surprised they didn't want Mezek to go back to his original squad, where he got his start at Schalke.
Yeah, could have made it just a whole Arsenal B team.
He could have.
And they would be in the same spot, getting relegated.
Yeah. They're like Sheffield. They got a long way to get out of the Bundesliga.
Oh yeah, they're in big trouble.
So yeah, like we said, there's games going on currently right now. We got Burnley taking on Brighton. That's just getting underway in the second half. Still 1-0 to Brighton. Louis Dunk The Brighton boys, man, I'm telling you, they got something going here. Their defense has been Louis Dunk, Webster, Dan Byrne, and Ben White, the youngster. They seem to be holding it down.
Yeah,
the guy in net seems to be pretty solid.
They've kind of found a little bit of formation here and seem to be comfortable in what Graham Potter's trying to do. So, yeah, it's nice when you find a goalie that seems to fit. I know Ryan was doing well, but this kid's been doing just as well, so he was expendable. That midfield's been holding it down really well. Gross has been playing. Pascal Gross has just been phenomenal. Every time I've watched, he's been all over the pitch for them, defensively, moving the ball. So, yeah.
I mean, they took a big loss, though. Sully March is out for the whole season. I think
he was playing. He was playing really well for them too, and
so that's a big loss.
Loss for them. It's a big loss, but they're in just great form right now. You can't be upset if you're a Brighton fan right now.
No, and I want to see Brighton in the EPL. I don't want to see them go down.
Yeah, and they're still alive in the FA Cup too. They're moving along. They've had some very interesting games this year. The draw with Liverpool was huge. Honestly, only losing 1-0 to a City team that was in really good form was huge. And then to beat Leeds was nice. To beat Spurs, and then to come back and beat Liverpool. Yeah. It's just they've that's a whole season. That's a whole season. They've achieved more than probably expected when you laid out their preseason plans as the Brighton executives, I would say. If you said you're going to draw and beat Liverpool, everything, and not get relegated, that's all you could probably ask for an entire season.
Season, check, we're done. That's it.
Yeah, and be playing, I think, now we're going to head into the 6th round of the FA Cup, so not bad.
It's
1-0, at some point, though, 1-0 gets tough. You gotta probably start finding ways to score a little bit more than 1 goal a game, because that will catch up to you eventually.
I mean, I feel like Burnley and Brighton are like the same team. They'll go on really good runs, and then they'll lose 3 or 4 in a row, and you can't figure out what the hell is the difference from one game to the next. I don't know. Burnley's just Burnley's Burnley. They're confusing. They always will be. Shawnee Dyche, though, how about this freaking beauty? Did you hear his press conference this week?
No, I did not.
They had a clip on it on Sky Sports. It was like a 5.5-minute clip. The reporter asked him something, and that he's just you could tell he's just so bored. He's like, "Oh my God, I'm so fucking bored." Jesus Christ, man. And then he goes off about how him and his family or his friends, he's like, "You ever go to the pub and play the game looksy likesy?" Basically who looks like a celebrity or something like that. And he's like, "You ever go to the pub with your mates and do that?" And he's just talking to the reporters he's the reporter on one Zoom, he's like, "Hey Dan, that's a nice, what is that, real flowers behind you? Was that fake?" He's trying to just I don't know. It went on for
he's
5 minutes.
Deflect everything possible, I guess.
He's like, "You could ask me a question about somebody's fitness level. I'm just gonna lie to you and say I don't know. This boring question. I'm sleeping, mate. I'm sleeping." I'm like, this guy is a beauty.
And as bad as it's been, they're still 8 points clear of Fulham for that final relegation spot. So
they'll do just enough.
They're that in that just enough category. Newcastle's in that just enough category. They're
it seems
that 3-1 lead right now. That's big for them, but they're
3-2. Just as you said that, James Ward-Prowse.
Just gave him the old commentator jinx.
There you go.
JWP. That he's got one of the best free kicks in the Premier League. He's very underrated. Very underrated player.
That's a Southampton Academy product, man. That's what they do.
I have a feeling he's probably on his way out within the next 6 months to a year to
I hope
To a
so.
bigger club.
He's just one of those guys. He's like a Jackie Grealish. He's so loyal to the club because they've done so much for him. And I don't know if he's going to leave. It just wouldn't feel right, I don't think.
Well, for a while, it was looking like, they were top 4 club this season. So, and now they're already back down to 12. How crazy. As good as Southampton look, they're still behind Arsenal right now. Like, how's that even possible?
It's league.
I mean, I know we have 2 games in hand on them, but.
Right. How do we overlook this? Minamino.
Yeah, I meant to bring it up. Yeah, he got his first goal too. So 2 guys debuting in that game in Joe Willock for Newcastle and Minamino for Southampton.
Also just got worse. Also just got worse for Newcastle. Jeffy Hendricks just got sent off.
Oh boy.
So
door opens for Southampton.
10.
Here we go.
40 minutes to go here.
Here we go.
So the Newcastle were like, yeah, and then Jeff gets reckless. And they're going to be defending for their lives here for 40 minutes, which doesn't sound very good.
No. And Goodmanson just ties up Burnley. So
yeah.
right as we're discussing both teams, we get some second half scoring.
There you go.
The Icelandic midfielder with a goal for Burnley, and they are level now, 1-1 with Brighton. So
there you go.
So we talked about Brighton needs to find a way to score more than 1 goal. You can't hang around and just carry 1-0 leads for 60, 70 minutes in this league. It just doesn't happen often. So
that's a dangerous
right back in this
play.
one. Yeah. So we got a couple good matches on our hands right now as we're live. I don't know. Was there anything else from last week that you felt that we needed to bring up or discuss?
What was last week?
Anything in the last minutes of the transfer deadline? I did want to mention, on socials we discussed it, but we were right up to the deadline last week, and that Jordan Morris move did go final. He did end up getting into that Swansea game last week, and he got into Swansea's 2-0 win yesterday against Norwich.
That's huge.
So, yeah, that was a big win for Swansea, and he's been subbed in both of these games. So it's only a matter of time probably till you see him in the starting 11, I would think, at some point too.
And Paul Areola.
Yeah, Areola goes to join him. He has not been in an 18 yet. But I would expect to see him probably in the next one. He got over a little bit late.
Don't worry, Tommy. We'll guide you in the right direction.
We're here for you, man.
It could be overwhelming when we start talking about so the first tier is the EPL. That's the big dogs. And then there's the championship, which is the second tier.
Yeah, the EFL. You have the EPL and the EFL, essentially.
So if you win the second tier league, you get to go up to the first tier. It's a little reward.
So imagine being the D League champion, and then you get to go up to the NBA, or winning your division in AAA. And you get to now play your next season in the MLB. So that's kind of, again, I'm a big favor of pro rel in all sports. I never believe in being rewarded for being the worst team. So you're the worst team, so you get the best young player in the world. Awesome, cool.
Right.
That's fair. Or do you have to go out and fucking earn it and make guys want to come play for you? Like, you have to, that's in soccer. That's what you got to do. You got to make guys want to come play for you. If not, then no one comes and plays for you, and you get relegated, and you start dropping leagues. And
I mean, we've said this from, I think, when we started this thing, that every game matters in soccer. There's no days off. There's no, load management bullshit.
There's sure as hell no tanking.
There's no tank. You tank, you're going down, and you're just going to keep on going down.
Yeah.
You don't get rewarded for tanking in soccer.
No.
It just doesn't work that way.
You get forgotten about. That's what happens. You get sent down into another league for 16 years and can't get out like Leeds did.
You go bye-bye, and then you lose this.
Yeah. So.
Yes, I know. It can be confusing, but I think, Tommy, I'm not a guy that ever really played, and I'm kind of newer to the game than Brian is, so I kind of try and put it in like the layman's terms or try and reel it back to that, because I know not everybody. I try and remember this. Not everybody that watches knows like the weird stuff that Brian and I know, like the intricacies of all the leagues and the cups and all that shit that we care about. So we try and formulate into terms and ways that people understand, like comparing it to, the NBA or some little American league that will be like, oh, that's what he means. Okay, now I understand.
The beautiful part about this sport is there's never an off season. Like, there's always somebody somewhere playing.
Which is great. That we can focus on not just one league. If one, in May, when the EPL ends, we just have the MLS to go on.
Well, Segway City, perfect timing. Talking about playing more soccer. You want to play more soccer. MLS teams are going to get an opportunity to play more. So, introduced this morning. I haven't had a chance to fully absorb all of it, so I am going to read a little off. But starting in 2023, there will be an expansion in the CONCACAF Champions League.
Right.
So where we have Champions League over in Europe, not to confuse anybody here, but there is a Champions League on our side of the ocean. And it consists of currently the MLS and basically the Mexican League and a little bit of South America. Well, they've decided that for 2023, it's going to be expanded. It is going to be a full-blown tournament with group stages. It is going to feature 20 clubs from Canada, Mexico, and the U.S., an additional 20 clubs from all of Central America, and 10 clubs from all of the Caribbean leagues. So you're looking at a 50-club group stage tournament that's going to go to a 16-team knockout stage and will follow in the spring with 11 qualifiers from North American group stage and 4 from Central America and Caribbean. So that's pretty fucking awesome news in my mind. Like that's a big deal tournament for these MLS teams to have the opportunity to be a part of. And I think it just helps grow this MLS even more into what we've been hoping. And at some point, I've been in favor again of kind of the potential of the blending of maybe Liga MX and the MLS, and we're finding a way to get to eventually Pro Rel with the USL and the USL 1 and all of that going on. So it's just another step forward in my mind of really expanding this game in this country.
I think in due time. It's still, compared to other leagues around the world, it's still young.
Oh, yeah.
So there's time to figure it out.
It's just another step forward. I mean, that's what we've wanted. It was so stagnant for so long. As great as the development of the MLS was and everything, it wasn't taking, I don't think, to the level that, we thought it would get to at this point. Like, it's so deep. Every day you look and there's like another team, like, oh yeah, team from Knoxville is now part of this league, and a team from here is part of this league. Like, it's just really, even with everything going on in the state of the world we're in, we're still getting new teams. We're still getting more expansion day after day. And that's a good thing to see. Yeah.
It's fun if you're if you're into the MLS, and I mean, more teams, I guess, the better. It only helps the owners, or the owner, which is Donnie Garber.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it helps with, you get a team, even if it's a USL championship or USL 1 or no matter what the league is, you get a fun team in a city or a town that may not have that in the past, and It could be a big attraction, and it could get some kids turned on to the game and just get us more and more people playing, and the more kids play, the more opportunities we find these rising stars. And it's just better for us as a country on the international side. So,
yeah, I think we're in the right direction. I think all around we're finally figuring it out, which is good.
Yeah. Speaking of our club debuting the new kits on the show today.
I know, that's sweet.
We are ready for the upcoming season. We actually have our first team meeting. Kit revealed to the rest of the team. Little mini practice tomorrow indoors to get started. We start back up last week of March. I think the 21st is our first game in March. So
nice.
Training is coming. We're going to have open tryout, the whole nine. So if anybody's listening and knows any soccer players in the Jersey area or even PA that would be willing to make a trip, come try out. Ages 18 to 40, really. So,
so 40.
You gotta be ready to play, man. Yeah, that's the cutoff. If not after 40, you got to go to the men's league. But I think it's actually 45 they give you. But
that's pretty cool.
But yeah, you got to be a stud to be over 40 and have me pick you for the 18. So
you got to be David Beckham out there.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if there's any, former retired players that are looking to, have a little midlife crisis and get back in the groove and want to come put the ball in the net, I'm cool with it. But for the most part, I'd like to keep it in a certain, age range. We're trying to be competitive, and some of these teams are feeder clubs for bigger teams in New Jersey. So sometimes it's some younger, talented kids on some of these clubs. So got to be able to keep up with them.
Like we encourage 40-year-olds to come out, but I probably won't include you in the squad ever.
Yeah, except my boy Jay, he's a solid defender, solid rotational defender, and he always has a spot on this club. He's one of the founding members long before I've even been with this club. So he can play. If he wants to play to 45, he can play to 45. I will find time for him.
He's the Tom Brady of soccer.
Yeah, he might punch you in the mouth, too, if you come at him wrong. He's a good guy to have on the pitch, trust me.
A feisty Jersey guy? No. No.
So, shout out to Jay. Jay, you got a shout out on the show today. See you guys tomorrow.
See y'all tomorrow, son. I guess before Lord Walker comes on, maybe just look at some of the games that are coming up tomorrow besides, obviously, City and the Pooh.
Yeah, because I feel like once he comes on, that's probably about all we're going to be discussing.
Most likely. So tomorrow's breakfast game, we got Spurs hosting West Brom. Jose Mourinho era, it's going to go – typically it's going as planned. You start really hot. And now it's starting to get a little old.
This looks like it's normal.
Starting to get a little sour.
There's one thing in a world of complete no more normalcy. There's one thing that is starting to look normal. And without your big time striker up top, nobody's been able to step in and do anything. It's definitely hurt Sonny. Again, that HK jersey is going to be available. Adam will discuss more later too on how you can still win that HK jersey Adam has for you guys. He's looking like a more and more valuable piece as the games go on for this team.
I mean,
and my beef with Sam Allardyce is squashed for tomorrow morning. I'll be all baggies all morning. Let's go. Get that dub.
Oh, God.
Spurs are shit.
Big Sam's back on the good side just for 2 hours, and then it's back.
For 2 hours of my Sunday morning tomorrow, Big Sam is all right with me.
Then he can kick rocks after that.
Exactly. Well said.
What else? 9 o'clock, we got Wolves versus Leicester. Foxes have been playing pretty well. Got the shutout during the week at Fulham. James Maddison, outstanding. He's a difference maker in that team.
He's been great.
Him and Harvey Barnes are probably the guys that make that engine run if Jamie's not in. And they still do well. They're still playing really well.
Yeah, I give credit to Yori too. I mean, he plays a nice role on that team. Kind of an unsung hero. He's a pretty solid defender in there in the midfield, and he's kind of helped step in and when Ndidi was down too. So they're starting to get healthy, and that team's starting to roll. They're one to be, to be watched. I think in the final race here going forward. Definitely, I don't think they're dropping out anytime soon. Wolves have not been playing well, despite obviously the win earlier this week, which made it even more surprising on the Arsenal end because the Wolves were struggling so bad. I think they were losers of their last 5 before that, maybe even more. So again, a win like that against Arsenal and what I still see as a gift of a red card and whatever could give you some momentum. They are home, but if the Foxes play like the Foxes can play, that should be a dub for Leicester. Maybe like a 2-1 win, something along those lines.
I mean, you're seeing the impact of not having Raul Jimenez out there, how it can affect.
Yeah, it's been major. I think Willian Jose started to find his form a little bit. I mean, he just came to the Prem. So we talk about it takes a little bit to get comfortable. He was starting to find it against Arsenal. So he could be a nice addition for the Wolves because that guy can score.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't want to rely on Fabio Silva, the youngster, this early. They weren't really expecting, who could have predicted Jimenez, gets hurt like a terrible head injury. So I don't think they were ready to have Fabio Silva come in this year and be super productive, which is kind of unfair for an 18-year-old. But
he showed signs of
somebody else, which is telling because that Raul Jimenez injury is probably going to keep him out probably for most of the season, if not all of the season.
Yeah, I don't think we probably see him till next season. I would be
to play it safe. I mean just to put his career, just be like, it's all right. We should be okay. We'll stay up. Just we need you back. We need you healthy. And if you can go next year, so be it. If not, I mean, it's unfortunate, but
well, for them too, they're starting to see what everybody sees, and when you start to become a pretty decent team, then you're starting to play more. And in the last 2 years, they've played a lot of games. And it was starting to show a little toll on them this year, but they've done enough, and they'll be okay despite a really bad start. Again, they'll find a way, like you said. They're not going anywhere.
No,
and they'll find their form again. I trust in their coach big time. So
yeah, and I mean, as far as Leicester, they're getting all their defensive help back. Pereira is healthy again. Soyuncu's back in there again. So Brendan Rodgers has his options for defense.
Yeah. That Turkish team is pretty interesting when you look at a kid like Kabak and Soyuncu. Like those are two. When your two central backs are, I know Kabak's going to end up starting in necessity, not that he would be an everyday starter on a Liverpool squad that was healthy. Right. But at some point, he will be the starting center back for Liverpool for at times this season. And Sancho at Leicester, that's a pretty nice thing to have for a national team's perspective, to have two of your young center backs playing big time football in Europe. So interesting squad there. Unfortunately for Ozil, he doesn't have any eligibility. Played too many caps with Germany. He can't go play for the Turkish national team.
You can't switch almost all the way through your career.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's not allowed. But he did come out and say he would never play for Germany again. So
there you go.
That will never happen. So
Then the last game on Sunday, we got Sheffield, the Blades, winners of, 2 in a row, right?
Yeah, they own a
2 of
2-game.
3.
There was a draw in there somewhere. Oh, well, no, 2 of 3, yeah, because the United game.
Right.
It's crazy. I mean, the City game. The City game feels like a win, losing 1-0.
Right.
For as bad as Sheffield has been. Yeah, like that's
within 1-0.
Yeah.
It's almost like a win for them.
Absolutely. It's like a win for them at this point. So
this, I don't know. And Chelsea, you feel good, they've been having clean sheets under Thomas Tuchel. Their shape looks good. Their passing, everything looks good. They just need to find a way to get the ball in the back of the net. And that's been a problem under Lampard. That's been a problem now. Their finishing is dog shit. And Timo Werner still looks like he is just so uncomfortable out there.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
Like, his confidence level must be at like a 20.
You would think, though, with this change that would have turned around.
You would think. He just still doesn't look like he belongs.
He starts putting the ball in the net, though. That'll change. Strikers are unique beasts. Strikers are like closers in baseball. For again another reference to people that might not be as familiar with the sport, but they can be a little bit of a little bit of head case sometimes, and things start going bad, and it kind of becomes a trickle down effect, and start putting the ball in the back of the net, and then things change. So you go on runs and.
It's just I don't want, because sometimes I feel like now people are like, we need Timo to get the ball, so now they're going to start forcing it to him, even though he might not be open. And his game is to run in behind the defense. His game is not to be a hold-up guy. He's not a big man. He wants to run in behind you, and granted, there's been a few times in this season where he's made great runs behind, and people have not sorted him out.
Yeah.
So it's been a little bit of both. I think, I don't know, it's just an unlucky season for him, I guess. It's a big adjustment. We've always said that, from going to, the Bundesliga to the Prem. Some people get it right away. Some people it takes forever. And then some people just never get it. So
yeah. Tuchel's biggest challenge is going to be, as a coach, any coach's biggest challenge is getting the best out of the players he has.
Right.
And he's got to figure out a strategy that complements Timo's game or Havertz's game, or both, or whatever the move's going to be here. Are somebody going to be quickly in and out? Is it going to be a change of personnel pretty quick? Or are they going to kind of open up some offers early in these guys? Or are they going to give it time to develop, and they're going to give it time to kind of come to some kind of form? I think by hiring him, it shows you that you would think he's going to at least get at least a year to give it to get it going. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know with your boy Abramovich, but you would think he gets a full year at least.
I mean, it's an 18th-month contract, so I would hope he would get the year. I hope he doesn't get the a quick trigger that would literally make no sense. It's like,
unless he completely unless they just go on a record-breaking slide or something and fall out of any type of European contention, or they're not technically in it right now, other than being still alive in Champions League, but you know what I mean. Like it would have to be pretty bad, I think, for him not to get at least the year, if not the whole 18 months.
You need to go into Sheffield and beat the hell out of them. You need
plain and simple. Yeah,
you need a game where you just run ragged over somebody to get that confidence going. Everybody.
And yes, Bryant, I don't agree. But Lord Walker apparently does, and he will be joining us shortly. Did you send him anything yet? He just actually messaged me about the link.
I sent him the link like 15 minutes ago.
Awesome. I'll message him and let him know that.
I think I
didn't see it.
I sent him something on the Kickin' It Stateside DMs. I told him I sent it to him. Pretty sure I did. Sent. Show link. Yeah. It's there.
Cool.
Yeah. Recurring guest, Liverpool fan, friend, Lord Walker will be joining us shortly to talk Liverpool and Man City. But before, we got to get to another one of our sponsors. We're going to go a little, we're going to get real with you again. You know, obviously, part of our new sponsorship is the Counseling Center in Sunrise Detox. Like we've preached, you know, 2020 has been a shitty year for a lot of people. Mental health is just, and, you know, suicide is at an all-time high. Domestic violence is up. You know, we've said this before. Again, this is a safe space, you know, not just for soccer talk, but, you know, any kind of talk. You could always come, you know, if you're not comfortable with coming on the show or saying it on the show, you could always DM Brian or myself or one of the Kickin' It Stateside DMs. Get in our inbox. If you want to talk, we're there, man. You know, everybody goes through it. Trust me, anxiety runs in my family. I deal with it. It's not fun, but, you know, talking with people makes it a lot easier. And again, you know, Detox, my buddy, you know, he's in jail because of suffering from that and making just bad decisions.
Yeah, man. Addiction is not an easy thing to deal with. So, you know, we're here, and obviously these guys are here to give you the best help that they can give you.
Yeah, it's you know, again, if you need someone to call, not just us, the professionals, you could give them a call, 856-651-8117. Tell them Tom sent you from A2D. Tell them the A2D boys. Tell them Kickin' It Stateside sent you. And, you know, again, we all need people to talk to. And you're not alone. That's what I always say. Everybody's going through shit. So, again, you need someone to talk to. You need help. Hit up our counseling center in Sunrise Detox, and they'll get you all figured out and straightened out and get you the help you need.
Yes, sir.
Well said. So, without further ado, friend, recurring guest, the man, the myth, the legend, Lord Walker.
Hey, guys.
Yo.
Yeah.
What up?
Hey, Brian.
What's going on?
Hey, thankful to be on the show. Thanks for having me on.
Surely.
And,
Of course.
It's we figured that this was the day to do it with your boys with a big one tomorrow.
Yeah, how you feeling? You know, and not to make light of it, you know, we have our new sponsor discussing mental health and everybody being okay. And you know, how you feeling? How you doing? You all right?
Well, no,
really
absolutely.
Good?
You know what? I mean, we can get personal, I guess, because that is something that is important. Is your mental health. I can't think of a better sponsor to be associated with the show. It is certainly something that a lot of us are relying on is sports, considering, you know, you can't go out to the movies really, or you can't go to big social gatherings with family, friends. These things are having their effects, and it's going on a year now of being in this condition. So it's been great to be able to watch my team, be able to, you know, go through the things. I mean, England's going through some really deep things with their COVID situations. it's affecting Liverpool with going to Germany. I know I heard you speaking about the Bundesliga or the Bayern practice league, but
the Bayern Liga.
Yeah, right. but it is real serious. I mean, mental health is important, and I'm definitely proud to see you guys have a great sponsor like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we welcome you, and we're glad to have you back, man. Glad you're well.
Yeah, I'm glad everyone's well too. It's for sure.
Even despite losing 1-0 to Brighton.
Okay, I knew. I said bring the fire. I've been dealing with it.
You asked for it. Yeah, you asked for it
all week.
Bring it.
I mean, it's like, where do you want to begin? Do you want to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, what can I say? Clearly, I took the Arsenal jersey's not hanging in the background today, so I mean, I can't really say anything. So
yeah, I agree. I almost wore rocked the retro New York, New Jersey Metro jersey or something like that. Metro Stars jersey, but
whoa, Clint Mathis.
Oh yeah.
Well, save it because MLS is coming back. We got till April. It was announced. We did say it earlier in the show. They did make their deal, so we will have MLS. And if I don't know if you saw, but the introduction of the new the expansion of the CONCACAF Champions League is coming too. So a couple years for that, still 2 more years for that. But big news around big news around our
We said
league
that
here.
last week or the last time you were on, didn't we?
Yeah.
It helps TAA when he has Virgil next to him.
Yeah, it absolutely does. It absolutely does, and that's the thing. That's why there's so many different ways you can go about this. Like trying to analyze it, break it down, because there's a lot of different things. I'd simply say the biggest part is we can begin by saying about the people that have said this has been coming since February of last year. When Liverpool all of a sudden, quote unquote, got into that little situation with being so many points ahead, they took the throttle off, and Watford game really changed up the entire mindset of this team. Then we have Corona break, which is like you stop the season and then you start it again in the middle of the summer. It's different climates, it's different. It's the start go thing, and you're still on the same season. A lot of that really had an effect, and we're so far ahead that the only thing that was really pushing us at the time was saying we could be maybe the Centurions, and that was, once we weren't able to get that, we got 99, which is cool. It's our little reference to Prince 1999 maybe. Like we really had
you're
to
welcome
change
for that, by the way.
team. Yes, definitely soccer talk. That was what it is.
But, Willie's troll of the day.
We kept you from that. We kept you from that 100. So
yeah, we had we've had those things, and I think it's just a false narrative when people are like, oh well, your team's been going down, or we this and that. Really, this hasn't been going down. It's just more so we've been focusing on different things. We're about to win the trophy, win the cup, and by winning the Premier League the way they did, they just really kind of took the throttle off a little bit, and everything was weird the way that you had to go back and forth and trying to get into different gears with the way that the season is so compact, So there's a lot of different things that you can say. And the problem is a lot of times, and I always like to say, don't just say the problem, actually bring out the solution and the answer. With that problem, the problem is we have no real we have a lot of different issues with injuries, and we're trying to give explanations, and people are calling excuses. And I'm not saying that there's any reason why we shouldn't still be where we're at. I think if anything, we should get more praise for the reason why we're at where we're at. If you had any team in this league that had 7 to 8 different starters, I mean, if you took your starting 11 and said, take out 8 of those people, there's not many teams that can do that. We're not owned by some, nation state that has billions upon billions of dollars that are just printed to say, oh, well, you need this, you need that. Pep has like brought in about $500 million, over $500 million, something along those lines to Manchester City. We're at probably about 100 million. You know.
Yeah, well, you can see it with the additions that you made.
Yeah.
You made good additions, but you made what we talked about before the transfer window. You made Liverpool additions. You made guys in Kabak and Ben Davies that weren't going to kill you in the pockets,
right?
But are probably going to give you pretty decent form on the pitch when they get their opportunities. And
right.
You may even see one or both as early as tomorrow in this game. So,
yeah. And you know what? When it comes to that, I'm very interested to see what Klopp does with that lineup. He definitely needs to, make an adjustment here and there. Having watched Klopp so much, you kind of like, there's no real like, oh, well, I'm going to guess that he's going to do this or that. More so, you just kind of go with the flow because for the most part, a lot of people are calling for Curtis Jones actually to come in the game early, or they didn't like Shaq being up front, or, that spark that you normally got from Origi, who has given us miracles after miracles, isn't just there this year. And those things, again, sound like excuses. People just really want to go with the whole, oh, it's an excuse. And it's not. It's an explanation. Like the reality of it is that I'm not trying to say that we haven't performed. We've actually overperformed considering the players that we have in the positions that we're playing them would probably start on the majority of teams in this league, for sure. But let's be honest, they wouldn't start on our team currently. They'd be that alternate, or they'd be someone that you bring in because there is an injury or a short injury or something along those lines, And we don't have the luxury that your Manchester City again has, or your Manchester United, I mean, I can't stand the flack that I'm getting, because I have plenty of Red Devil fans and much love. But they come at you with these different little things that have occurred to Liverpool this year. And it's one of those things where I'm just like, hey, your team has gone through the same things, and you're not coming from winning cups. You're not coming from winning silverware. So I really get a little hemmed up when I hear all the things from the Red Devil fans. I get a little hemmed up when I hear everything from your Gunner fans now. It's like all of a sudden everyone's like, I've got an opinion. And it's just like, really? Really? Let's worry about your own houses for a little bit, It's tough being the gold standard. And let's just be honest, that's what a lot of teams get up to that level. The Red Devils have been there in their history. The Blues have been there in their history. Arsenal's been there in their history. There's times when you reach that standard, and this is our wheelhouse right now, and it is different now. Coming and hearing all you hear all the hate already. Those were the murmurs. But now you can kind of like tune in that frequency, and it is getting a little stronger.
Yeah, a little diversity for the Reds.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, what do you think about? I love this little spout Pep and Jurgen are going back and forth with now. That should be interesting tomorrow on the pitch.
It should be. It should be extremely. I mean, they're not friends. They're not best of friends at all. So that's something that you got to just state up front. But also beyond that, Klopp and Pep, the comparison can be so frustrating because you're talking about a manager, albeit he was the coach for Byron, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or he was, then he went to Barcelona, right? Okay, you're really tipping at the small clubs, okay? But then now goes to Manchester City, and the amount of money that this team, once again, there's a big difference between our ownership group and that ownership group. Mm-hmm. And the amount of money that they've put in is it's like, I think it's close to $700 billion. So I know it's over $500 million. That is a lot of money. Whereas then you go to the comparison of what we did, and those things, yeah, Evan, I got an answer for that too. Yeah, you go to the things that we're working with, which is $100 million, $100 million, in our people bringing in and bringing out, money in, money out type thing. It's a big difference. You look at the team that he got. That team was already competing. So he came in. It's not like he came in and was like, oh, I had to rebuild. Look at our roster. Our roster has next to no player that started in the Klopp era currently playing in the real starting 11. So there's a lot of comparisons I know that are given to Klopp and Pep simply because they're the two best teams in the Premier League, talent-wise and performance-wise for the most part for the last 3 years, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
But there really isn't much rivalry because Klopp has beaten them. Klopp has the most wins against Pep than any manager in the world.
Right.
Okay? He has 9 wins against him. Let's make it 10, hopefully. But a lot of wins. It is a lot of wins. And his most important win needs to be tomorrow, for sure.
Bryant's not wrong, though. Leicester has had a similar run on injury.
Absolutely. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
No, I'm not either. I'm just, I feel honestly that says something about Leicester too. Leicester could be in even better shape as well.
Absolutely. That's the thing. I'm not a super big Brendan Rodgers fan, but still, I believe that you got to give credit where credit's due. He's done a great job with that team, considering that they were so close to getting into Champions League last year. They've already had that taste of what holding the title means. He wasn't a part of that team, but still all the same, the team has had that, organization has had that.
He has a couple guys still that were, yeah.
Sure. So you have that knowledge and that base that you can draw off of. And, they were, I'm sure, gutted by not making Champions League last year. And this year, they're showing a difference in the mindset and the performance that they're bringing out there. It's a difference. They're back to being hungry, which is great. But,
between the COVID break and Man City paying off UEFA, that Champions League spot was not available, unfortunately.
Right.
So
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I just think that basically the whole just the point is that how valuable Van Dijk is to this team.
Absolutely.
That's the big key to all of this.
It's great you brought that point up, Adam, because you know why? Literally, Chelsea, and what happened when John Terry was not with that club.
Mm-hmm.
How much of a difference that made?
Yep.
Manchester City, when Company was no longer with the group, what a difference it meant to that team. You're talking about talismans, captains. Guys, and these people mean something. Synergy means something to a team. And when people just look at, let's look at stats and wins and losses, there's more to it. There's explanations for it. I'm not saying that you can't rise above. And if anything, that's what I believe in my team. That's why I'm preaching out there, trying to get people off the the edge and say, hey, that's not us. That isn't. If we're going 30 years without a title, you think right now we're going to go, let's run for the edge like we're lemmings or something? Or get pushed off like we're lemmings, really? No, that's not the case at all.
It's good that you mentioned John Terry. He seems to be the favorite for the Bournemouth job.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. That was discussed because he's Dean Smith's number 2 right now.
Yeah.
So this morning it was discussed in the Villa Arsenal debacle this morning. That John Terry is definitely emerging as that favorite for that Bournemouth job. So
and he probably deserves it. He could
that could be good for the Cherries.
Yeah. He's actually, I think he was more deserving of a coaching job than Lampard, actually.
Yeah, I mean, watching that game, he seems to be the guy, honestly, more than Dean Smith on that sideline. He's the fire guy. Dean Smith's the old, just the old football coach, the old quiet, sits there, makes a comment here and there. John Terry's the the voice of that sideline, definitely.
Right.
Exactly. Without fans in the stands, you could hear him today. So
Dean Smith, man,
interesting. It could be an interesting move. It's nice to see. It's tough when your first potential head coaching job could be such a difficult situation like Bournemouth is looking like they're becoming.
No, absolutely, and that's where I wanted to challenge. I definitely wanted to say with the Mbappe question, because I want to make sure that we answer it.
We could answer that. Absolutely.
I do want to say that there's more involved in even that. Look, I honestly believe that and I'm just speaking about my own squad that I support, I believe that we have a plan. We do have some work of a plan. Thanks. And I do believe that our plan is certainly about this summer, and that's what's going to come down to. And with the things and the amount of time and patience that a lot of and faith that a lot of Liverpool fans have been placing in this board, I think they realize that and they know that. And getting a Mbappe means we're going to have to sell a Mane or a Salah.
Yeah.
So that's a huge thing. That's a huge another adjustment to something that, hey, it's been working. Now, albeit there's an age difference, though. I mean, these players are now creeping towards 30 that are on our front line, and now we're talking about going at least closer to the mid-20s, So,
yeah, Mbappe could barely crack a beer open, so.
Right, and that's the thing.
I don't even think he is 21 yet.
Yeah, I don't even know if he's technically.
Question.
But he's in France, so he could do what he wants. But I'm just,
smoking a cigarette at 14.
I think they had him out at elementary school. Yeah. Mbappe is a real. There's a real chance that you could get Mbappe on this team. There's a renewed chance that you can get Sancho on this team. Sancho is a Nike athlete, and
good. Take him off our hands for us, please.
I don't know if you're gonna. And and I've heard that the price has been reduced. They most likely should have weighed in on the over 100 million mark, but they're trying to get 120, I believe.
And now it's going to cost. And now they're shooting themselves in the foot.
It'll be about 80 now. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, but I mean, all the same, everyone's feeling the effects of it. Right. It's almost like COVID inflation in a sense, to the market. So they'll still get a nice price tag on him, and it might. I'm looking. I'd say they probably get in the 80s.
Probably.
But or a little bit maybe north of 80. But if they can get as close to that 100 mark, so they can say, well, we got 100 for this player, that's most likely what they'll work on. But there's a lot of those players that are out there that could and should possibly be considerations for this team. Look, our center back position, I would love to get players, but let me say this point. There is no person in their mind, right mind at least, that can say, hey, I'm going to have 3 center backs. I'm going to have 2 bona-fide, one center back, possibly the best center back in the world, have his counterpart that plays well with him, young, great defender. And then I'm going to have a veteran, okay, who could start on almost any team in the Premier League, right? I'm going to have those 3 center backs. And I'm going to go out and get 3 more great center backs that are going to be able to sit the bench and not play, because realistically, you're going to have these 2 center backs there that are going to play the majority of the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have that alternate that's going to come in and play, on those subs in and subs out type things. This needs a rest or whatever. But no one ever goes and says, I'm going to have 6-star center backs.
Yeah, you just can't do it. You just can't do it. Like when you have that elite guy and he goes down, you're never gonna have. I mean, anything even comparable. to that, because that's just not how the game works. I mean,
Right.
it's like that at a lot of positions, but especially at center back, because the lack of how many really elite guys there are, and then like you said, the cost and just the depth. Guys aren't going to want to sit. Guys would rather go somewhere else and actually be playing. So when you lose a guy like that along those lines, it's basically irreplaceable. You could lose so many other options, and you've seen it. You can lose a Mane, you can lose a Salah, you can lose a Firmino, and still find ways to have success and win and win a 1-0 game because you have Van Dijk back there. But when you lose just a shutdown guy like that, it makes it difficult.
Difference. It makes you lose a talisman on your team. It's going to make a difference. And again, that's not an excuse. It's an explanation. That is a reality. That's a reality for any team in the world. It just happens. And unless you have other pieces that are like almost as comparable as that, it's going to make a difference. And I'm happy with the effort that we've made in the majority of our games, not every game, because there have been some mental Klopp said it best to you. He was trying to say that they're not mentally drained, or they're not mentally empty, on fumes or something like that. But sometimes you're just tired. These guys are playing sometimes 3-4 games in a week, and there's no 4-day rest makes a huge difference in Klopp's opinion, and I've seen it in our own. It's almost like it's kind of like when you see a team in the NFL get a bye week. Normally, Andy Reid was this murder when it came out of bye weeks. No matter how bad the Eagles were, you always knew, we got a bye week, we're going to win that next week. Because anytime he gets an extra week of practice or extra week of being able to put the schemes all together, it's masterful. So
that preparation time.
Right. So I know these things are just crazy.
Well, see, to me, like, a lot of people don't understand, and I look at it in life in general. An excuse is something that everybody does to sell something to make themselves feel better about a bad situation.
Okay, that's a good quote.
I
like that.
The only reason an excuse exists in this world is to make an individual feel better about something that they've either neglected to do, or just something that is out of their control, and the only way to make themselves feel better is to make an excuse. What Liverpool is doing and what Klopp's been doing and what you're doing is just, like you said, you're bringing the facts to the forefront, and you're saying, all right, we have a really good team. When we are 100% healthy, we have the best team right now probably in the world, one of the top 3 in the world. We've shown it over the last couple of years. Unfortunately, we are not. So with what we have remaining, we are doing the best that we can. Right. On top of a COVID world, on top of a busy schedule, Champions League's about to fire back up. Guess what? You got to have 18 guys ready, healtly to go. And
how many of those players are academy players, or how many?
Or an Oban Kobach, who you don't know what he is. Yeah, he's a good young Turkish defender, but he was also the number 1 center back on a team getting relegated in the Bundesliga. So maybe he's not you don't know. You got to hope. You got to hope you just found a diamond in the rough for cheap. But
Schalke got hope too. But
but it's not an excuse. It's just a reality. There's a difference, and a lot of people don't understand that. And Adam and I combat that all the time. Jumping into this business, and you see it with social media. You're busy out there, people just see you trying to express an opinion and take a look deeper into a team situation, and it's automatically an excuse when it's really not.
As soon as you utter it, it's that's an excuse.
It's an analysis.
You gotta be better than that. And I'm like, Can we at least talk about reality? That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to explain what reality is and what we're dealing with.
Adam,
Yeah,
well, Adam knows that's for the guys to pick the internet fights. That's a perfect way to start the old internet fight.
That's why.
Oh, you're out here making excuses. Yeah, Adam's good at it. Adam's very good at it. I'm not. I get into those fights because
I just come from the neck. I can't argue peacefully. Like when I hear some stupid shit about say Carson Wentz, for instance, I'm just biting my tongue you're so dumb, but I'm just not even going to entertain it. So I just
sometimes I just can't take it. Sometimes I finally have to say something. I'm like, listen.
Away.
Yeah. Trust me, I went through it, I went through it as a Giants fan this past season. Excuses. I'm the king of excuses for, my quarterback. I'm the king of excuses for Mikel Arteta. I'm always I've been making excuses for him, but I'll continue to make excuses for him because I still believe in him as a coach, as bad as things are right now. So I do. I haven't jumped off. I was still drinking the red Kool-Aid this morning. I was still, we talked about Tuchel before you came on and him, is he going to get the full 18 months? Is he going to get the opportunity? Or, if he struggles, or is it going to be is he gone in a year? Does he get that full opportunity of that contract?
He's going to hit a spell. It's not like he's going to, brawl and win his way out.
Everybody gets a manager bump. The worst teams get manager bumps. You expect the manager bump. It's how much is he going to be able to sustain? At this point, I think if he can't in 16 games get Chelsea into European football,
coming in hot.
Whoa.
Wow.
He definitely.
Oh man,
he's definitely not an Arteta guy.
I like that though.
There's a lot of not Arteta guys, and I get that because, like Lord Walker said, when your team reaches a pinnacle, whether it's right now like Liverpool has, or whether it's what Adam you've seen with Chelsea, I've seen with
Eddie.
Eddie's seeing right now with his Rangers are reaching a pinnacle. At some point from that pinnacle, there's always a decline. Rangers. And then when you're at when you hit a decline or you're struggling or whatever, everybody wants to come at you. Unfortunately for Arsenal, they have not been good for a while now, and the expectations from them as a fan base especially are high. Always, week after week, the expectations are high. Right. And the performances have not been. And, it makes it harder and harder. It makes it harder to be a manager of a club like that because your leash is just so short.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting question.
Arsenal's terrible form as two players. Ooh. Okay, that's a great question.
Well, I can't tell you that because I'm not there. I don't know. Has he lost the locker room? Has he ever completely gained the locker room? Can you gain the locker room in 1 year? I talked about it. It's probably been about 400 days now, close to 400 days since he's been the manager of Arsenal, which is, just a bit over one full calendar year. You would hope that you're winning it, but at the same time, again,
for him. There you go.
Injuries. No, I'm going to talk about injuries. Look how different that team ran with Kieran Tierney at left back. The one goal today was 2 minutes into the game when a right-footed Cedric, who's been a right back his entire career, has been thrown into left back because they've neglected to add an additional left back after letting Klosniak go to Schalke on loan. You didn't bring in support, which, I was okay with that loan. I was okay with it, but you needed to bring in, they talked about, we're going to go get Ryan Bertrand. We're not leaving Southampton. We're there for 4 days. We're not leaving without Ryan Bertrand. You didn't add anybody. So now Cedric is forced to play that position. He makes one bad play 2 minutes into the game, and you lose 1-0. That's not an excuse. That's the reality. It's the reality.
I like this kid coming in hot.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you ask him? Can you ask him what team he supports? What is his squad that he actually supports? Because Look, I don't know if he's an Arsenal fan.
I feel like that looks like a Man United
Man U
picture. Is that United? Is that Van de Beek in his picture? Like, is he really coming at Arsenal's neck with Van de Beek in his picture? Is that? I thought so. Really?
Yeah, Red Devil in the
Good.
That's cool.
Good. They're welcome. I want them here. We talked about that. We need a little bit of, we have Jeff too. We need some United influence. We need some
Maybe
City
it's a
influence.
Dutch guy who was a
Bring
Man
it.
U guy because of Donny van de Beek.
Right.
James
Oh,
Oh,
Wilson.
it's James Wilson. Okay, I can't see it well. I'm sorry, I can't see it well from here.
How about to my Red Devil fan who's brought some great points up? Look, we do not need excuses. Our mates, they need them, right?
Yeah.
We don't. They have no time for ours, and our foes will definitely not believe in them. So what it comes down to is champions. That's us. We need to just perform. I believe we will. You never walk alone. Right?
Oh, Mike drop.
And he's a realistic United
at least,
fan.
and I can respect that.
Good.
I can respect that completely because that is something where
Going down.
the situation that Ali, I know I just got excited, but seeing that, I know what's going on. I heard a man you guy saying some real truth. Yeah, that's the truth. Because 21 is not coming this year. It's not. I really don't think so. Look, the sheer fact that you got in the Champions League was an overreach from last year. But it's great that you are there. And now that you're going to get Champions League most likely again, be happy with that.
Yeah. Well, they were there. They were there.
Right.
They're not there anymore. Yeah.
Well, they were there. Right.
They were.
But I mean, at the form that they're keeping.
Yeah. No. Hey, that's more than I can say right now. So don't get me wrong. I'm not.
Yeah,
we haven't been there in a while, so it would be nice to just be there. That's all I mean. But I just want to be there.
Yeah. Ultimately, isn't that what we all want to do? Is like just be there.
And I see no path there right now for my team. Like, where's that path?
Yeah.
I gotta say, I don't see it either.
I told you. I'm telling you. Don't get mad at me, Arsenal fans. Don't get mad at me. I'm positive. I really want good things for this team. Benfica's not going to be an easy task.
No,
it's not. It's not. We may. Yeah, like that might be it.
Yeah,
that might be it for Europe this year.
Yeah, and that's and
I hope not. I hope we get better.
Yeah. Yeah, and you have to. I think every team has to come in. Basically, did we come in this year looking to win the title? Absolutely. Defend it? Absolutely. I think we still can defend it? Absolutely. I'm saying that there's a lot of football left, and this game is huge. And this is
the game.
This is the game that can make or break our season, considering that putting that much space between us is that much harder to make up. So, this game is big. This game is huge. And, top four is essential. But I'll tell you what's more essential is that we need to win the Champions League, in my opinion. That is something that I believe that we still can do, considering that it's not like we just have to catch fire at the right time, And, I mean, ask Manchester City, like I'm sure when they went up against that French squad, they weren't saying, oh, yeah, you know what? They already wrote their ticket, basically, past that game.
Yeah.
And that's what happens, he even played some players thinking ahead of time, So
yeah, you can't ever look ahead. If you haven't learned that yet,
no, there's one thing that I'm not sorry to cut you off. I was just going to say, but one thing that I can't stress is that I love the philosophy and the beliefs and the things that some of these coaches say especially when it's not even really coach talk. It's not like the book, like he's reading a manual, the books and stuff like that. They actually come out and just tell you what they feel and tell you what they really believe. And there's a lot of things that most people, like you ask me, oh, well, what's going on in the Arsenal locker room or some area, or what is going on? I'm not behind the scenes on every last thing. I have been in different places in my career of being able to do those types of things, like us. And that's why you're talking about the red card, earlier. I know I might have some information about that. Yeah, you're right. That is true. That's why I want to grab it. I'm not trying to. This thing is expensive. I'm not trying to have it smashed.
Hell yeah, those things are.
But yeah, there's a lot of different things that come out with different type of coaching philosophies, and what I can't stress enough is what Klopp has done with this team has been an amazing success. Continuing to build upon that success is what I'm looking forward to. I definitely think that we have a real shot at turning this around. We have to definitely just pull through. I mean, if it's broken, we fix it. If it's wrong, we make it right. Champions until someone changes that title. That's simple as that. And that's the mentality that this team goes in. And when you hear all the banter is one thing, you get that. Like I said, it's definitely louder now, but I think it's louder sometimes because it's coming from people that are doing like, oh, my heart. Like realistically, have faith. Have faith. You gotta have faith in the badge, a little bit of faith.
I mean,
because that murmur that you hear becomes noise. Now all of a sudden you're around a crowd of people that hate you, and now even your brethren are showing hate towards the players that you love. We're a family, and we got to continue to push towards that.
Yeah, I mean, you slip up a little bit as champs, and people come out of the woodwork and start hassling you and start talking shit to you, and it's like, where were you when we were winning? You're pretty quiet.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You didn't have much
amazing
to say
when
last
the lights
year.
come on. Yeah, it's amazing when the lights come on, and all of a sudden, you see that, hey, now all of a sudden, I guess I can talk. Like, oh.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that happens unfortunately way too often in sports, and that's what we always try to filter out, especially doing stuff like this. Is the people that pop out of the woodwork when it's convenient for them, and the ones that stay steady throughout. Adam will tell you on A2D. I got a couple of them that once every 4 months somebody wants one weird thing happens in sports that I might have commented on, and then somebody wants to start posting up on. It's like, remember when you said that? Like,
yeah, you
like,
have to watch what you say. Certainly.
Yeah. So you post every 3 months, and every time it's something that you want to, which is good. I mean, I guess that means they're thinking about me. That's a good thing. You
get people screenshotting your stuff, and then they have as ammo, like when it slips up.
If I'm getting to the level where you're screenshotting my comments and all that, then hey, that's great. I love it.
My journalism background, man. You got to come with notes, or you got to come with facts. You got to be able to back that thing up. If you don't, it's all speculation. So
Hazayton was saying that Klopp's more of a manager than a coach.
Okay, and I've heard that. I know I've heard that discussion before, where when it comes to a manager or a coach, I know Ollie fits that breed. Like as in
a leader of men.
Brendan Rodgers. There's some that can coach and be able to put you in the right positions, know how to is a coach. But there's also those that can manage a club, and managing a club is managing egos and managing all the different things that go into all the things.
There's Eddie.
See what I mean? I'm sorry, people don't like facts. That's all.
Eddie needs to be careful what he wishes for, because if Klopp ever leaves Liverpool, you know who his successor is going to be, and then there goes Rangers.
Right.
Yeah, at this point, so you be careful what you wish for, Eddie.
Waiting in the wings, DVG.
There's another club legend doing really good things as a manager that might be next in line if Klopp decides to go to Germany or something. So
exactly, and you know what? All these people are there saying how Klopp this, Klopp that. There's not one person that would say they wouldn't want Klopp. If they're like, "Oh, Klopp's going to sign your team," you'd be like, "No, I can't have
Now, I don't disagree with Eddie, though. There were a few occasions where the guy that has not mentioned maybe the schedule was a little much,
Odd one.
had an opportunity to play guys, even with injuries, to play guys that, were maybe backups and rotational guys. And, you've looked at an 11 in a certain games and you're like, why are those 8 guys starting this game? If you need guys to get time and guys to be refreshed, then why?
I have an easy answer for that. And my easy answer for that is this. Look, everyone's always going to play, question someone's tactics or why is he starting this guy or that guy. Again, none of us are on that practice pitch. And there's things, you as a coach,
that's a devil's advocate question too, because I don't necessarily disagree with it. I just want to.
Right. No. And I know that you wouldn't. That's why I'm saying to the viewers, there's a definite difference as to why they put that player out there. And there's other reasons, maybe there's look, Allison right now, for instance, has a mysterious illness. It's not COVID. I know that. That's what they've confirmed. But it's an illness that he didn't come to the game, called out sick basically. And that's something where you're like, okay, I got to deal with this. I got to deal with that. I got to deal with, hey, he had a knock at practice, or maybe he's just not having the burst that he normally has. All those things get weighed and factored in. It's not just you have that starting 11 that you have in Sharpie, like this permanently put into something. You're going to have to make little changes here and there. Now, don't get me wrong. I have said that I think the Magic has unfortunately run off of Origi this year. I think it was like, I think we rubbed the genie's bottle as many times as we could to get something out of him last year. And, he's just someone that I really respect and appreciate and love, all the things that he's given to us. But hey, it's just not working this year, and he's getting up in age again. He's getting up to a point where he's not really playing that much and everything else, and yada, yada. It's almost like that Daniel Sturridge area. I love Daniel Sturridge. I'm a big fan of Daniel Sturridge. But even he got into that place, where he's just like, okay, maybe it's either time I make this big move to another club where I actually play, or I'm just going to be that person, that guy on the bench that just rides the bench for the most part. Plays in the early cup games and stuff like that. There's a lot of it that gets involved in it. And yeah, there were a lot of things that I heard at my supporter club when they're, why is this guy playing? Why is that guy playing? Again, we are not on that practice pitch. So I have every ounce of my body has faith in Klopp knowing who to put out there.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of those players have to perform and show appreciation that they get to be in that starting 11 and get onto that pitch in general, and show some pride, show some love. Hey, that Brighton game, all due respect to Brighton, they played well. They did what they wanted to. The whole concept of saying that Brighton or Burnley or any of these lower tier teams have all of a sudden figured out Klopp or something like that. Figuring out Klopp is basically to let a team have 70 to 80% of the possession and have 3 to 4 times the shots on goal or shots, period. Okay. And also have maybe 3 to 4 times the passes that they connect on, completely control the entire game, then say, oh, we got that one break and we scored. And you're going to roll the dice on that. If that's your only way, that's what you say, hey, that's what we're going to do, guys. Hey, have at it. I was starting getting so angry and mad.
Well, you got to remember too, those teams, like those games are that Liverpool game circled on those guys' calendar before the season.
This is Super Bowl
game of the year.
We're going up against Super Bowl in tomorrow. That's their Super Bowl. Yeah. We are every team's Super Bowl. And
of course, hey, this is
even
that's
Tom Brady doesn't win tomorrow. He doesn't win tomorrow. But hey.
Hey, when you're the top dog, you're going to get team's best.
Come on, Tommy. Let's go, Tommy.
Oh,
yeah, buddy.
Go Chiefs.
Recognize the greatness.
I'll stick with the red. That's why I'll
Stop hate. Don't hate on greatness.
Wow.
As a Giants fan, I have no ill will against Tom Brady. We've beat him twice on the biggest stage, and he's great.
Exactly.
He's great.
Exactly. He's
Yeah.
giving you.
You only got him once. You only got him once.
You've gotten some of your best memories from him.
Eagles are 1-for-1.
Yeah, 1-1.
We're 2-0. We're 2-0.
Actually, or
Yeah.
we're 1-1.
No,
1-1 against him. Yeah, he's been around that long. You're 1-1 again.
I was like, wait, 1-4-1 or 1-1?
Can I just stress though? Yeah, explanations are not excuses. Let's stop false equivalencies. Like I don't want to hear stuff about, oh well, every team goes through injuries. Yeah, not like this. Okay, let's just stop that. It's so frustrating and hard to hear when someone's like, oh well, Manchester City, they didn't have 3 center backs at once. One game. That was one game. So like say season-ending injuries, different.
Yeah,
there's
a difference.
Excuses or explanations. And if anything, this game we're gonna rise. I'm close to the city of Phoenix, so we're gonna rise like the Phoenix, hopefully.
I don't know. The single John Stones is a different John Stones.
He is. He absolutely is.
Him and Ruben Diaz. What are they? Started 13 games and they've shut out 12 times.
Sure, and Foden is absolutely one of the best young talents in Europe.
Oh, for sure.
Laporte's healthy. They have goalkeeper depth.
Too.
I mean,
I think he's better than Sancho, to be honest. and that's hard for me to say.
Not cocky, it's proud, first off.
Yes, pride.
He's a very proud Liverpool.
So we're getting towards the end here.
Any predictions for tomorrow? Scores?
We need predictions for tomorrow, and then we need yellow card, red card. So we can go around the table. I'll leave it to you if you want to go first. You can decide. You want to go first, second, last? You're the Liverpool guy.
Okay. No, it's your show. Go ahead.
You're not gonna love me for this, and I don't know if that. I don't know, because I feel like if City does get this win, it takes a little bit off. Like I like the table as compact as possible. As a team, unless it's my team that's running away with it, obviously. So, I want to see as much competition as possible. I want the points to stay as close as possible. But if you're just going off recent form and the fact that Liverpool is dealing with these injuries, there may be some new faces in there. There may be some guys having to play out of position. I'm going to say a 2-1 City win.
Okay.
If I had to pick it as if I had to put money on it, not what I want to see, but what I would see if I had to put some bread on the table. So.
Oh man. Again, like I said, that center back pairing of Ruben Diaz and John Stones has been pretty close to perfect recently. And Liverpool seems to, for whatever reason, struggling to put the ball in the net. But I don't know. I think I'm putting all my chips on Jurgen Klopp. I don't know why. I just feel like he's going to get the boys to play, and we're going to see a Salah goal and maybe a Bobby Blue Eyes for the winner. Speak that into existence.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I don't want to say the same score, but I think it's going to be definitely a 1-goal game. But I can't believe I'll do this. I'll just say 1-0 Liverpool. I don't know why, but I'm going to go with the Reds, eking one out. It's going to be close regardless, but I think Liverpool wins.
Okay. I would say, so I'm reverting back to not giving a score, because I believe sometimes I get scores, they end up haunting me. So
speak it into existence, boys.
Right. I'm trying to do my best to speak it into existence. But one thing I do believe is existent in my heart, and I believe that we will do, and I believe we will win. You know, it's a wake-up time, a wake-up call, you know. Champions never give up, and they certainly don't give up when they're knocked down. So I'm asking for my mighty Reds to stand up, you know, play with pride, play like they want it, play like they represent us, just like we represent them. That's why you see all this, you know, and that's all you can ask for. And if I get that tomorrow, I'll be happy because I believe that the result will be good, and I believe that we will overcome. So, yeah,
Well
tomorrow, I
said.
believe we're going to win.
Well said.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope my pick is wrong, and I would rather
I
see
respect your
Liverpool
I
get
respect
the
your
3
pick.
points and keep that top of the table a little bit tighter. So
And real quick, yeah, you know, you gotta be honest. You definitely enjoy the fact that this year is not like last year. Last year it was over pretty much by January. It's not.
oh yeah, Adam and I had it called before the COVID break. You know, like it was.
Right. That's you don't want that, and you don't want it from 2 years ago, which is, you know, us and City, you know, racing toward the hundreds. You know, you don't want that. You don't want it even 3 years ago. You know, when we had a real good chance of winning the league again. So you really got to think about the football that we have this year is amazing. I think COVID is a real big factor in that. And yeah, it's a lot of different things that we definitely need to address and everything. But hey, gotta love football, gotta love soccer, and appreciate the fact that we get to watch it every day, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much every day.
Pretty much.
Yellows, reds, Adam.
You know, I like to do this every once in a while. Keep it light. It's not really like a serious matter. I saw this on ESPN. I don't know if you saw this the other day. Apparently, in a second-tier Serbian league match,
Nice,
between Radniki and Kalubara Lazarak. Apparently, a dog ran out onto the pitch, and the referee actually gave it a red card.
Yeah, apparently it was multiple offenses, and every time he came on the pitch, he actually started to chase the ball, and the dog got red carded.
Did he want straight red, but did he not get a yellow? He didn't get a yellow card?
No, they didn't yell him the first two times he came on,
understand.
apparently.
Straight
And
red.
then the third time he just went straight red. Yeah,
Straight red for the
maybe
dog.
he got
the reason why you get
I guess the verbal warnings constituted not giving him the first yellow. He had enough verbal warnings, and they went straight red.
I don't know.
Law, I guess.
A dog gets red carded. I mean, what the hell?
Stop bringing your damn dog to the Serbian second tier
Where's the dog
game.
coming from?
They're probably in a park in Serbia. It's second tier football. Like it's not like they're they're probably
had to bring his dog to the park.
That is great.
Yeah, some dude was walking by, and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna watch this football game real quick." And this dude, get your dog on a leash, man.
Hot off the presses of the Serbian second division.
Yeah.
I like it.
So that's funny because that was on my list as well. So I'm glad you came with it. I have a yellow that goes to Southampton. A lot of praise went Southampton's way early this season. They were playing really good ball as a team. It wasn't just the Danny Ings show. It looked like Ralphie had them boys going. And to do what they've done this year twice now and completely give up in a game and get spanked like that. I don't care the situation, the red cards, anything. That was pure quit. That was unacceptable to lose games like that, especially the teams that are in races that are padding themselves now in goal differential because you decided not to show up. To me, that's uncalled for. You're professionals, and you should never lose a game, especially twice like that, getting spanked like that in a season.
Weird.
That's a lack of heart.
Yeah. So and again, that's a team that went from like we're talking top 6 potential, actually playing really good ball, to they're sitting 12th below. As bad as Arsenal has been, they're below Arsenal in the table right now.
Hey,
and they played themselves into a -8 goal differential with that. So they went from green to red, and
brutal.
Yeah, it's just sad to see.
That coach,
I don't know. I don't like that. Like that's like that's just quit. It's just pure quit. So
yeah, that coach has a lot.
That's a that's a yellow, red, whatever you want to give
for
it.
a while too. He was like that, like that coach that everyone was like, oh, this might be someone's big club next acquisition, but
yeah. And they were a man up for 40 minutes today and couldn't come back, and they lost again today to Newcastle. So they weren't able to get that. They got 1 back, but they weren't able to get 2 and at least get a point. So your boy Minamino scored, but they lose again. So they're just
another thing. I mean, that was a silly. Quickly, that was silly. Maybe that could be my yellow card. Or that could
there
be
you
my
go.
red card. We shouldn't have. We're giving out players, and I know Minamino hasn't really sparked for us, but still, I don't know if that was something that we needed to do. I don't know if his salary wasn't something that you have to like considerably try to shave off the books. That's going to make it that much of a difference. So that was very interesting. And right now, considering that Mane didn't play in the last match, and all the different little components that are making up the injury list that we have. Yeah, we got to be bringing in players. Right now, I'm not trying to see players go out, but hey,
yeah,
that is what it is.
Yeah.
And real quick, my yellow card again goes to my fellow Red fans, my fellow brethren, my supporters of the team we all love, or at least the good ones. Don't allow for our rivals to get into your head, please.
Block out the hate.
Know that crown.
We're trying. We're trying.
Yeah. You're sitting on that throne and we're looking at the courtroom and saying all these people whispering and now talking loud. Have faith. Let's get it tomorrow. That's all I can say. Let's get it tomorrow.
Get it.
Bring that energy, bring that substance into the world and into the universe and make it happen.
Well said.
That's all it is. That's my yellow and red.
It's beautiful. Before we get out of here, I forgot to mention, it's been talked about our good sponsor, OC Campus, or All Campus, the fire that happened on the Ocean City Boardwalk. There's a GoFundMe page. If anybody out there that wants to donate and help out the family, he did give an update. I'm pretty sure there was a lot of smoke damage. He said,
yeah, a lot of smoke damage to a lot of pretty much all the apparel and stuff. So it's going to be a restart for these guys, and they could use any help that they can get. So, I've told people $1, $2, 20, anything that you could possibly give, even if, with tough times right now for some people with money too, even, just a thought and a prayer, anything. Because unfortunately, they were struck by a bit of bad luck here. So we got to help these guys out any way we can.
Yeah, just not good. But yes, if you want to donate, hit Brian or I up, and we'll give you the direction of the GoFundMe. And again, any money helps at this point. I think he lost close to almost $200,000 worth of apparel before really even opening his doors. He was doing all online stuff. So that's a big blow, and that was we just signed that as our sponsor, so some of the money out of the A2D pocket as well. It's unfortunate. So again, if you would like to donate, hit Brian and I up. We'll direct you in the right direction here.
Yeah, sure. Check out the A2D socials. Everything's up there. Check out Kickin' It Stateside socials. Everything's up there. So we'll be able to help you out, and help any help to anybody at this point in the world is a good thing. We all need to get back to helping each other. So
well said. All right, everybody. Thank you again for checking us out, and thank you.
Yeah, good luck tomorrow, buddy.
Yeah, Lord Walker, thank you for joining us.
Well, both of you, good luck tomorrow. Don't lose to the Blades, Adam.
Bring it tomorrow.
Don't.
you know what? I don't really know what to expect. It could be a bad day, or it could be a really good day.
Yeah.
We could see Liverpool and Chelsea win.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, can happen.
We'll see.
All right, everybody. Thank you again for tuning in. And Lord Walker, again, you're the best. We'll see you guys next weekend, 10:30, right here, HUD Radio. Adam, Brian, Lord Walker, we out.
Love you guys.